Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your Rabble Live at 5. Feels like it's been ages since we've been on normal public YouTube because obviously we only do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we only do it on the Wednesday if I'm not on with Edgar on the Wednesday night. So it's been, since Monday is the last time we've done a live at 5. But yes, we are here. My name is Martin. I'm your host. Welcome along. Thank you very much for choosing to watch us. I know it's not easy with that face. Get it right. That face. Probably a lot easier with this face. But welcome along, folks. Thank you very much. If I could just ask you a quick favour, if you could all hit that like button on YouTube and hit the subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. And follow us across all socials. All the links are in the description. And of course, you can check out the Rabble store where you can get loads and loads of goodies. The links for that are also in the description. Like I say, I'm Martin. I'm your host, and my co-host tonight is my good friend, Mr. Bryan R. Fotheringham. Bryan, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Slowly building up as it was last week. It's a slow burn to Sunday, but yeah, we're getting there. It's inching closer, isn't it?
Are you talking to me again yet?
Yeah. Here, after you got schooled on Monday, I was quite happy.
After I get schooled, who are you talking to? I schooled you and Stuart.
Oh, did you vote? You put a poll out and you got resoundingly voted out, so you knew fine.
That was for members. Members don't count. Members are always going to go against me. We both know this. So I schooled you and Stuart. You couldn't handle it. You flew off the handle. Threatened to come to my door.
Shocker.
Which you did. You threatened to come to my door. You even phoned up the morning phone and threatened me to come to my door, Bryan.
Yeah, I was just making the point. You know what I mean? Just making the point. But no, me fairly schooled you on Monday, and you just couldn't take it. And then you went for the members, and help me out, guys, bail me out.
No, I did not. Spinning, don't you start spinning, right? Bryan with a Pedro Porro temper tantrum. That's easy to say, isn't it? With a Scottish accent. But Spinning has also already gifted a Rangers Rabble Podcast membership. And can I just say, Spinning, you deserve extra credit for that because it didn't go to London, which is always a positive. Always a positive. Bryan, mate, how are you?
Yeah, not bad. As I say, it's just it's another slow build till Sunday. Lots to go over, lots to speak about. Yeah, it's just another weekend, another old firm. So it's going to be slightly different, this one, in the sense of the people in the stadium and the percentages and stuff. But it's all the same. It's it's always the same, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see like how it is with the old allocation, like it used to be, won't it?
It will be very interesting. When was the last time that happened?
Wow. I couldn't tell you.
I was never a fan of them getting the broom one just for the aesthetics of it.
I've always stated that we get shoved in a corner, they get prime seats right behind our goal. That's the thing that annoys me about this whole.
But the problem is there's a lot fewer rubbish seats at Ibrox than there is at their place because we've got a better stadium. So I suppose it's more difficult to put them in there because even if they get put into the corner, you've still got a good view. At Ibrox.
There's no restricted views. There's no poles, no restricted views. You can see perfectly.
Aye, I suppose it's the downside. I suppose, Bryan, to having a superior stadium. I suppose nothing really much you can do about it. But yeah, I mean the full Brumlin. Do you think it'll have an effect on the game, Bryan?
I don't know because
in fact, Bryan, will any of these players have experienced that?
I don't think they will have. I mean, the only one you could say has experienced it would Tav have experienced it? Maybe not. I don't think he experienced it, but apart from that, he's the only one that would have possibly experienced that. So, no, it's going to be brand new to them. I mean, they'll have had the European allocation sort of experience. So it is one stand effectively. So for me, it really shouldn't make much of a difference. The atmosphere will be slightly more electric in the sense that there's more of them. They'll shout louder and whatever. But as far as that's concerned, the players should just be getting concentrating the game and putting right what happened last Sunday.
Well, this is it, and this is the title of the show, Brian. That Danny needs to get this one right. He needs to put wrong. He needs to put right the wrongs from Sunday, whilst continuing to keep the rights from Sunday. Because for 45, 50 minutes, like Danny said today in the presser, for 50 minutes, Rangers haven't played better against Celtic in I don't know how long. So he got something right. He needs to get rid of the wrongs effectively, and we'll be all right.
I think he needs to utilise his subs better. I think that was the whole gripe with everybody last week. He didn't utilise sub. He only used 2 subs the whole game, and I think for that formation and the intensity that he was playing at, it's asking a lot for players to go 90 minutes with that intensity. So he needs to be wiser with his subs. Use the 5 subs. We've got a good bench. We've got guys that can freshen things up or change things however the manager sees. So he has to use that bench more. Just use it. I mean, the fact that he only used 2 was just mind-boggling. There were so many players struggling, towards the last 20 minutes of that game. It was baffling how he didn't use all his subs. So that's one thing for me. He's got to change on Sunday is utilise his bench and freshen it up quicker. Because be proactive and not reactive. Simple as that.
You mentioned there that about subs and stuff. Did he kind of allude to that in his presser the day, Brian? That he didn't mention exactly what it was, but he did say that he made mistakes.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's one of the mistakes he was alluding to?
I think it was. I think he's probably looked back on it in the cold light of day and realised, you know what, I got a lot right, but when they made a change, I didn't react. I left it, and when an opposition makes a substitution or a couple of subs, they're doing it for a reason. So you have to let the game breathe for 5 minutes after that and see how it's going. And then if that subs are making an impact, then you've got to react. You've got to be proactive and do something. And I think that's what he was alluding to in his press conference, in the fact that he didn't do anything. He just he only made a couple of subs late on, and that was no use. He needed to be far more proactive and freshen it up and get more energy into that team. Certainly, and I think when he took off Nadiri and went one up top, that was the start of it. You could see it going.
You mentioned that, didn't you?
Yeah, and he mentioned that. So I think again, it's all things that he's taken note of, and he's hopefully, as you say, going to put that wrongs to right.
Yeah. Listen, 100%. And as Rangers on Tour says, he said the whole squad trained this week, which is unusual, Brian, for Rangers. I can't remember the last time we had a whole squad that trained. Barron and Cornelius on the bench. Rangers on Tour's asking. I think Cornelius, because of the length of time he's been out, probably not. Possibly, but probably not. I think you're more likely to see Barron on the bench, although the game's probably just a wee bit too early for both of them.
Possibly. I mean, you could get 10 minutes out of Barron, couldn't you, if things are going a certain way and you want a little bit of energy in that last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You could throw on Barron and get that sort of terrier sort of style player out of him for the last 10 minutes. That's one possibility I do see happening. Cornelius, no, I wouldn't. I would suggest that's, as you say, it's a game too far. And I think, I'm sort of looking at it and thinking, he's going to try and put his wrongs right this time. The selection is going to be huge, isn't it? That as I said, on Monday, that 11:30 announcement for the team lineups could be crucial, isn't it?
Massive. And just on the lineups, Brian. I said this on the morning show this morning, and it's kind of been said all week by most people that I've seen, whether it's in our comments or whether it's on socials or if I'm speaking to people on the 1 or 2 times a month I leave my house, that the selection last week was pretty much spot on, barring one position. Mm-hmm. And I think you know the position that I'm talking about, Brian. Yep. And I think that's maybe the one change that he needs to make. Will he make that change though?
Well, this is This is the big question, isn't it? Is he going to make that change and drop Suter and put in De Giga? Because I think everybody is universal in saying that the De Giga and Fernandez partnership was working well. I think the stats prove that goals conceded when De Giga's in the team was far less. So to me it's a nice easy decision for him. I don't think it's a hard one. It's tough on John Suter. Don't get me wrong, because any player getting dropped, it's not nice, but for the betterment and the team comes first, effectively. So in this occasion, he has to put the team first and play De Giga. Simple as that.
I have to agree. That John Suter can't start this game for me. Whether you believe he's good enough or not, right now he's not in good form.
Yeah.
Simple as that. John Suter can't start this, Brian, can he?
No, I would say I would be gobsmacked to be started, just purely for the clangers that he's made, recently. The Livingston one, he almost needs to take him out of the firing line, doesn't he? Just to give him a breather, just to give him a couple of weeks out, just to say, look, just train, don't have to worry. I'll keep you out for the next few games. Just take the fire out of it, because there's a lot of heat on him just now. There's a lot of slagging for Suter just now, and you don't want that. So the best thing to do is take him out of the starting lineup and just fan the waves and just calm everything down, so that when you bring him back in, he's fresh and he's ready.
I mean, Peter there saying he had the captain say he won't be dropped, but the captain was on the bench. So yeah. I don't think that matters to Danny Rule, to be brutally honest with you, Peter. Just my opinion. I don't think it does. I don't think that matters, Brian.
No. I think it's interesting as well that Sterling's trained, and there's been no reports of a reaction. So hopefully he'll be, as I say, there's no reports of him not being able to train, so that'll be a massive boost if he can play week to week and build up his fitness, and then hopefully we'll see Sterling playing, week in, week out then, because that's a position, as I say, I know it's a problem position, because Aarons is flattered to deceive and more often than not disappointed. I think Tabs, everything's been said about him. I'm not going over that. So it's Sterling's jersey to lose as far as I'm concerned now. So, and he did a marvellous job in that first half. He was tremendous. So that's one for me that we've got to, fingers crossed that he's in the team.
The comments move so fast, really, really so fast. Brian, what are you doing tomorrow?
I'm doing the random. I'm doing the random with Wolf tomorrow at 1.
And then what?
I'm not quite sure why.
Well, why don't you come to Cove?
No, I'm not going to Cove.
It's not that far away for you, is it?
It's a fair hike.
It's not that far. What is that, about an hour?
Hour and a half at least to get to the other side of the beam.
Come on to Cove.
I don't know. I've got Paul coming from Inverness, so I can't. Sorry. Apologies.
That Paul that's just come into your head, the new I
totally forgot they're coming from Inverness, so I can't. Apologies.
That made up pal for Inverness. There we go. Brian kidding on. He's got pals. Bojang channel member, massive super chat. Thank you very, very much. Keep the faith, troops. Now, it's a wee bit hypocritical for me to bring that up, Brian, because as people know, my faith has went from 0.1 to 0 this week. I
say it went negative.
Well, sub-zero, right?
Mm.
It's not really changed much, Brian. I don't feel much different than I did earlier on in the week. That draw scunnered me at the weekend. It really did. And it scunnered a lot of people. And it seems, and I don't know if it's just because there's been 2 in the space, but it's 2 in a week. 2 Old Firm games in a week, right? Effectively. Whether that's why the kind of build up to this has kind of went largely unnoticed. And listen, and Bojang, thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. Do you think from the advent of, not advent, but from the big kind of, since podcasts took over, right? And the kind of pubs and I'm getting a wee bit political here, and the pubs all started to kind of shut down, and the newspapers aren't getting read anymore, really. Do you think and the majority of build-ups to big games now are a lot less than what they used to be.
I think they are, purely because the papers had a field day the week of the Old Firm. They always had a story every day. Somebody was out. There's a sweat for this guy starting. There was always somebody struggling to, and the papers filled it. There'll be somebody this week from the East End that's. The latest one I've seen is Tierney's going for a scan on a foot problem. See, that's for me. That's just the start of it now. They're starting to build this up to the fact that Tierney might not make it, and so that's always. And I think it happened. It happened purely for the fact that, as you say, there was no social media. All you relied on was newspapers and the STV News or the BBC News. That's all you had as sports information. So you were limited to what you could get as far as info. So yeah, it was spoken a lot more because obviously the papers filled with it every day, every week. So yeah, this one's, and I think this is a great chance for the squad. It's not often you get a chance to play your rivals 2 weeks in a row at your home patch, and you can actually put the wrongs right straight away. I think that's a big plus. They can go out on Sunday and say, right, we let that one slip in last week. We've got to put that right. And I think that's a great motivation for me.
You can't play your rivals 2 weekends in a row at home and not win one of them.
No,
you have to win one of them.
Yeah, that can't happen. And it's got to, as I say, that's got to be the fuel. They've got to use that disappointment as, they've got to use that as the fuel for this weekend. That's the disappointment, and you just put that into the fire in their belly, and that's what gets them through this next game. That's what fuels the desire and the effort for this week. That's just use that disappointment and put it right this Sunday.
Well, Mark Webster has become a channel member. Mark, thank you very, very much, my friend, for the support. And you'll be able to tune in to the Friday Night Rabble tonight at 7 p.m, which has got Waterboot on it. So I know all the members are looking forward to William tonight at 7 p.m. with the old Battle Fever. I was trying to get a hold of Wolf, but I thought Carol will probably kill me if I try to get a hold of Wolf, because people wanted, and Connor's hosting it, which will be interesting to see. It'll be really interesting to see how Connor deals with William at 7 o'clock tonight. It really will be. I'm so looking forward to it, Brian. In fact, you know what? I might go to the shop and get myself 4 cans of beer. I might just go mental and get 4 cans of beer and sit back and watch this tonight at 7 o'clock and see how Connor deals with William.
Well, could you imagine if it was like Connor hosting with Willie and Wolf at the same time?
That's why I wanted to get a hold of Wolf.
That'd be mental.
Oh, and then just poor Mark sitting in the corner, not saying anything. Not saying a single thing. I would love that tonight. I would really, really, really love that tonight. But Mark, welcome along, my friend. Thank you very, very much. Like I say, you get access to loads and loads of extra content. A Monday night show, a Tuesday night show, a Friday night show. You've got match day coverage to every single game. You've got a Saturday morning show and a Sunday morning show, depending on when Rangers are playing. If not, you get a Sunday night show. So there is loads and loads and loads of extra content for channel members. The links for that are in the description. Of course, you get your Monday to Friday morning phone in as well. How could I forget that? Although Monday's a public, but Tuesday to Friday it's all members. So you get that as well. Brian, something else is mentioned in the presser, actually, if I could just kind of jump to that for 2 seconds. But I do feel that the build-ups now, I think, are a lot less intense than what they used to be. Barring maybe the night before, socials are a bit bouncing and stuff like that. But it's not like what it used to be. And maybe it's because I don't have a real job anymore. Maybe no, and I'm being serious. Maybe it's because I'm not going into, like I used to go into a factory or go into the depot or whatever and talk to other people. I'm stuck in the house. So maybe that's why I'm feeling it a wee bit like that as well. But Mark, thank you very, very much. The manager was asked about Olsen. And this is a question I asked a couple of weeks ago. It's obviously far too early, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But so far, what have you made of him? And are you a little bit worried that we're running out of time to maybe see something from him? Or have we seen stuff? Have we seen enough from him?
I think you could argue you've seen flashes. Like the assist for Chermiti last week. That one. The assist for Hearts, it was a Hearts game, I believe he had an assist for as well. So he's had 2 or 3 assists, which have been quite important. But if we're going to be spending in the guts of, what is it, 8.5 million on this guy, we've got to see that more often. We've got to see far more assists. We've got to see him score far more as well. I think Peter Lovenkrands was speaking about him recently, and I think he was, very glowing in his report of him. So he believes he'll come good. So it's one of these ones where I think the manager was asked, "Are you going to activate that, option to buy?" And he's like, "Well, can't say anything now until the summer," which was a ridiculous question, but it's kind of what you expect nowadays. So I want to see more from him. I want to see more. Assists and goals, like I said, just moments of brilliance, little great through balls, passes, unlocking defenses. So yeah, he's shown glimpses here and there, but that's not good enough for us. That's not good enough for us. If we're spending in the guts at 8 million, we've got to see that on a regular basis, and I think that's half the reason why everybody's been hitting the bandwagon with Chermiti. The money we spent on him, you can't be a flash in the pan every so often for that sort of money. You've got to be doing it all the time. So that for me, it's. I think he'll come good eventually. It's just, again, he hasn't played a lot. He's only played, I think, 10 games in the last couple of seasons. So he's not played an awful lot. So yeah, just watch that one, I would say.
Again, with hindsight, tell you then, and I say that as not a dig at anybody, because I was all for it as well. But does hindsight maybe tell you that, well, he wasn't going to come in and be this groundbreaking signing? Because let's not kid ourselves. When we signed him, every single one of us to a man went, "That's a title winning signing," and it's just not quite materialised that way.
No, it hasn't, and I think it is purely for the fact that I think he only played or contributed in 10 games this season. So he's missed out on about 30 odd games this season if you include Europe and cups and stuff like that. So he's missed a lot of football, and that's either because he was either injured or out of favour with where he was. So it's going to take him, and of course with the pace of Scottish football as well, it's that much quicker, and you don't get that much time on the ball. So that's going to come into it as well. So he's got to adapt He's got to adapt immediately, which is difficult. So I think I'm agreeing with multiple man. I think he'll be a great long-term signing. I do. He's shown in the past at Bruges and other places that he's got the minerals to turn up in the big games. So I would just give the lad time and he'll come good.
Ian, Martin. At least Ian having a go at me for my beard, and he's get hell at that. You know what I mean? And he's having a go at me. There was one thing mentioned today in the press conference that fills me with a little bit of dread, Bryan. And that's that Mikey Moore had a slight knock. Now he did straight away then say he should be okay for Sunday, but I don't want to hear should be okay for Sunday. I want to hear that he's available for Sunday, Bryan, because in that first half, as brilliant as what we were, he was a level above everybody on that pitch. And that's what that young boy can bring you. And I think we need him for Sunday.
Yeah, he was levels above everybody in that pitch on the first half. He was running that show himself, and an 18-year-old, doing that. It was impressive to see. So, and that's why we've went for him on loan, and that's why Spurs rate him so highly. I mean, goodness knows. I mean, poor Spurs, they're in turmoil as it is. So, but I mean, Mikey Moore has been lauded for a long time as the next sort of big thing in English football. So we're starting to see that now, aren't we? Because he's starting to show his qualities, and he's only a teenager and he's doing it. So just shows you the confidence the boy has.
I don't know what this fascination is with folk in my hair and eyebrows, right? I don't get my eyebrows done. I don't know where this comes from. I really don't. Right, here's a good point from Buffy. I think we'll see a totally different type of game this weekend. And if I can add that into Bryan Multiple Man's question about O'Neill, who's Multiple Man's favourite person in the world, we'll probably play Maeda up front, which will affect our press in the first half. Do we just go for full press anyway? My answer here is I don't know, because I'm not a tactics guy, Brian. But if Martin O'Neill goes in this game in the first half like he did in the second half of the last game, then I would hope that after a week's preparation, Daniel Rose got something up his sleeve.
I would like to think so. And let's be honest, Sterling had Maeda in his back pocket for that entire half. He didn't even know he was on the pitch. So I would like to think that if he's made he obviously put Sterling on him for a reason. So I'd like to think if he is going to move him into he's obviously seen what Celtic did in that second half and put Maeda through the middle. So he'll obviously have as you say, a plan for that and say, right, if this happens, then we'll react this way. So I would like to think that there's a plan for that occasion. And that's just what a good manager does, isn't it? You account for all eventualities. So yeah, I would fully agree that he's going to have a plan for that.
He has to. And look, in terms of this, the importance of this game, and it's the old cliche: every Old Firm game's important. Of course it is, but some do matter more than others, just depending on the context of when they're played or whatever. Like the first Old Firm game of the season matters a lot because it's the first Old Firm game. But if you lose it, you can still come back. We lose this if Sunday, Brian, then it could almost be season over.
It could be. Just at the same flip of a coin, it could be season over for them.
Exactly.
You just don't know. So it's an interesting one.
Is it simply, Brian, who deals with the pressure better?
Yeah, I think it is. Whoever blinks, who blinks first. Who scores first. Who's got the minerals if they go behind to come back and get back on level terms. Because we've done that this season. We did it at Parkhead. We went behind and we thought, oh no, that's us. And we had the minerals and we came back. So, and then we got 2 goals ahead last week and think that was it. And then they had the minerals and came back and got a draw. So, yeah, it's all about who's got the cojones, isn't it? So, it is about who's going to blink first, as I think.
It has to be. It has to be. I mean, I say it has to be. But they came back, like you say, last weekend. Will that play on the players' minds, do you think, Brian, the fact that we were 2-0 up and they managed to get back into the game? Will that be a factor this weekend?
I think it'll annoy us. I think it'll have annoyed the players that they allowed it to happen. And I think the manager will be reiterating that in the week this week in the training and the analysis. He'll be laying down, because I think everybody could see in that second half he was urging the players out, get up the pitch, and they just wouldn't move for some unknown reason. They just were, sort of stuck on that 18-yard line. They just wouldn't press up. So, I don't think the manager was wanting them to do that. I think the players just subconsciously did that, thinking, right, it's 2-0, we've won. No, it's not the right way to go about it.
No, and that midfield, I suppose, Raskin and Chucky. I don't know if you'll go with more of a free in there, Brian. Now that we might have the option of Barron off the bench, will Dio be anywhere near this game after his performance when he came on at the weekend? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to change much, but like quite a lot like the question multiple man asked, do you see this game as who was it? Was it Buffet that said it? Do you see this being a completely different game to last weekend? I
think this could be a bit more Chelsea type, just very strategic and very, it's not going to be as gung-ho, don't think. I mean, cup. The thing is as well, cup games usually are a bit more gung-ho because it's like, well, if you lose, it doesn't matter. But I think just with what's on the line here, it's potentially both teams' last chance of a trophy, effectively. So it's going to be I would say it's going to be a game of chess, and very cagey. It could be even extra time. Might be even extra time. So because it's going to get played to a finish on Sunday, penalties. So there's all that to take into consideration, isn't there?
Oh, and don't do a Ross. Don't start that. Carry on, man. Come on now. Don't start that pen. I'm not doing the watch along. If it goes to penalties, it goes to penalties. There we go.
And I think one other point is I see the A team has been brought out for this weekend. Mr. Robertson and Dallas and cronies. Yeah. So I mean, that's another factor in this game. We're going to have to. I mean, I think it's been obvious to see for the last few weeks that there's a certain team gets more favourable decisions than anybody else in the league, and we've just got to put up with that. It's not even hiding it now. It's there for everybody to see.
Don Robertson doesn't worry me as much as a lot of other referees do. I mean, he's still a poor referee. Don't get me wrong. He's still a terrible referee. What scares me more, right, is who's on the VAR. That scares me more, Brian. Matthew McDermott is on VAR.
Andrew Dallas, McDermott's assistant.
Right. That terrifies me because that Matthew McDermott hasn't got a Scooby. Nope. Right. We can talk about Clancy being poor. We can talk about when Willie Collum was refereeing being poor, Don Robertson, McLean, and they're all terrible. They're all terrible referees. But Matthew McDermott is single-handedly the worst referee I have ever seen. Yep. And he's on VAR. And that screams to me because we seen the Willie Collum stuff about the handball and the penalty that they got, and we've seen them in the previous ones going, well, we're actually raising the bar on giving that. With Matthew McDermott, for either Rangers or Celtic, right? With Matthew McDermott in there, you're at risk of getting either a really dodgy decision going against you or fortunate to get a really dodgy decision going for you. That's Matthew McDermott. He is pathetic.
Yeah. I think my general point is that the scrutiny will certainly be on the officials this weekend because there's been things happening over the last few weeks that have raised eyebrows, and so and it almost makes you question, well, is there any point in VAR? Because they don't get things right when VAR's there anyway. So what's the point? Why are we paying all this money for it?
Yeah, I've done a 180 on VAR. I really have.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been brilliant for Scottish football. With the amount of mistakes that our refs were making, I thought VAR can only be a good thing. Surely it can only be a good thing. And how wrong was that? How absolute wrong was that? Right, Brian.
We'll be watching closely on the officials this weekend, believe me.
Listen, I don't really know how much of a difference it makes how closely we watch them. I really don't know. But we will be. So what do you think then, Brian? Prediction time. What are you going for?
I think it'll be a narrow win in the 90. And I mean narrow. I mean it's 1-0. I think it could be very,
well, if you're going 1-0, you can only pick one goal scorer. Because he scores against Celtic every game. So you need to pick him.
Chermiti.
He's guaranteed a goal.
Mm.
It was the same as when Kyogo played against us. Kyogo was almost definitely guaranteed a goal.
Yeah.
And it feels we've not had a striker like that for so long.
No.
But it almost feels as if when Chermiti plays against Celtic, he's guaranteed a goal. It's almost as if somehow, Brian, in a big, massive game, he seems to step up to the plate.
Yeah, it is bizarre. It really is. You would think playing against easier opposition, you would come by goals easier, but he seems to thrive in these games. The Hearts games, the Celtic games, he seems to thrive on them for some reason. So, yeah, I'm going for a really narrow 1-0 win, and I'll probably pick Chermiti as the scorer.
You've got to. I mean, Mark's gone 3-1 to Rangers. Spinning bird flips gone 3-0. Chermiti double. Peter Mack's gone 3-1. I'm with Gallant. No, I say 2-0 Rangers. Chermiti hat trick. I'm with Gallant on that. Absolutely with Gallant on that. 3-1 says Buffet. Right, like I said earlier, folks, we're back at 7. Well, I'm not, but Connor is, and do you know who he is? Is back at 7, Mr. Connor Chalmers, and he's on with Waterboot and Mark. So I'm really, really looking forward to that show. I can't wait to see Willie on the Evian Old Firm game. I mean, that's Rabble out of context right there, isn't it? That you could just clip that up and just put that out on social media, and yeah, why not? Rabble out of context. Calvin's gone 4-1, and our very own Ian Thompson's gone 3-2 after extra time. But yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, as we are the people saying in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. No, thank you, Lyndon. Absolutely not, mate. Absolutely not. I've not been able to see mine for many, many years, so I'm not interested in seeing anybody else's. So thank you very much. No, thank you. But like I say, do please like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Please do follow us across all socials. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook, Instagram. What am I missing? Facebook,
X.
Twitter, and Threads as well. We're on Threads, so follow us on that. Bryan doesn't even know what Threads is. Follow us on Threads.
I thought you said Freds. I was like, Freds? I was like, what? Threads?
We're also on LinkedIn, by the way, but I set up the page and I've never went back on it since. So I don't think I've got enough of an IQ to be on LinkedIn.
You used to be on Kick, didn't you?
Kick, yeah. That didn't last very long. Yeah, I'm sorry. People can have a go at me. People can shout at me. People can call me an idiot, which, I mean, is all true. I don't see us winning on Sunday. I don't see it.
But I haven't had your prediction.
I still don't see it. That is my prediction. I just don't see us winning.
So what's the score going to be?
I have no idea.
You can't say that.
I can say that. I can say whatever I want, Bryan. We don't live in North Korea.
We need to hear that. We need to hear the prediction.
Come
Rangers. On. All right, so you're saying we're going to win now?
No, I'm not. But I'm not giving a score. I'm not giving a score because it's bad enough that I don't think we're going to win, and the abuse that I'm going to get for that. If I give a score and that score turns out to be right, I never live that down ever.
But that's the idea of a prediction. You just predict what you think.
Yeah, my prediction is Brian's no got a friend coming over for Inverness tomorrow. That's my prediction. So that's what I'm going for. I hope
one prediction I will have is by Sunday that beard will still be there.
Well, you never know. Look, it's really painful for me to have to sit here and I'm still really peed off by last week. So I'm just leaving it where I don't trust the team. And we'll see what they do on Sunday and see if they can prove me wrong. Because I'd love nothing more than to come on here Monday morning and for everybody in the comments to go, haha, see the wee guy out of Simpsons, what's his name? Aye, him. I'd love everybody to come on and do that to me on Monday because that means that I'm wrong and that we've put them out of the cup. And I would be delighted. But that is us, folks. Like I say, please like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Follow across all socials and join as a member if you can and help support independent Rangers media and get access to loads and loads of extra content. Bryan, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And as I say, it's the members show at 7 o'clock, folks. It's going to be worth tuning into, believe me.
That beard has made you awfully indecisive, Martin, but I'm with you. The beard isn't even that big. No idea how the game will pan out. Cheers, Hair Bear. There, that's it. Jesus. Right, folks, go and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Make sure all you beautiful, lovely, charming, I can't think of any more adjectives, members, join us at 7 o'clock tonight for the Water Boot show, we're calling it. It's not Watergate, it's Water Boot. Make sure you join us for that. To the rest of you, we will see you for the reaction after the Old Firm game on Sunday. For members, we'll see you, like I say, tonight. And then you've got me at 9 as well. CEO members have got me at 9 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow, you've got Bryan and Wilf for your random. That's for CEO members as well. And then we've got all the match day coverage on Sunday. And then, like I say, including the public reaction as well. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. And we shall speak just over an hour. Yeah.